San Francisco, 1964. Midnight. Chinatown alley 3 blocks from Broadway. Rain hammering concrete. Neon light from a nearby restaurant bleeding red across wet pavement. Steam rising from a manhole cover. The smell of garbage and cooking oil and something metallic. Something dangerous. 10 shadows. 1 man. Bruce Lee stands in the center. 5'7", 135. Wearing a simple black jacket and jeans. Water dripping from his hair. Hands loose at his sides. 10 men surround him. Various sizes, various weapons. All the same intent. The leader raises his hand. Points at Bruce. Wrong neighborhood, China boy. Bruce doesn't respond. Just adjusts his footing slightly. Weight shifts almost imperceptibly. Preparing. 15 seconds. That's how long the entire thing lasted. Not 15 minutes, not 5. 15 seconds of violence that rewrote what 10 men thought they knew about fighting. This is that story. The one the police report doesn't mention. The one witnesses were too shocked to describe accurately. Bruce Lee arrived in San Francisco in 1959. 18 years old, $100 in his pocket, speaking broken English. Coming from Hong Kong, where he'd learned Wing Chun from Ip Man and tested himself on rooftops against other styles, America was supposed to be different, safer, full of opportunity. Instead, he found segregation, found neighborhoods where certain faces weren't welcome, found racism dressed up as territorial pride. Local gangs controlled Chinatown blocks like feudal territories, demanded protection money from Chinese businesses, beat anyone who refused, beat anyone who looked at them wrong, beat anyone who seemed weak. Bruce looked weak to them, small, foreign, moving through their streets, teaching kung fu to students who couldn't fight back when it mattered. They'd been watching him for weeks, saw him leave his school late at night, alone, walking through alleys most people avoided, never looking scared, never looking down. That confidence looked like disrespect, and disrespect needed correction. So they waited. 10 of them. In an alley Bruce used as a shortcut, planned to teach him the lesson they'd taught dozens of others, send him to the hospital, make him understand whose streets these were. They had no idea who they were dealing with. The first one attacks before the leader finishes talking. Young, maybe 19, wearing a leather jacket 2 sizes too big, pumped on adrenaline and bad decisions, throws a wild haymaker. No technique, no setup, just rage and momentum. Bruce's response is surgical. 1 step inside the arc of the punch, too close for power. His palm strikes the kid's solar plexus. Not a push, a penetrating shot that collapses the diaphragm. The kid's air leaves his lungs in a wet gasp. His knees buckle. He's down before his brain processes what happened. 3 seconds. The others react. Chaos erupts. 2 more rush from the left, one swinging a wooden bat, the other with a chain wrapped around his fist. The bat comes first. Horizontal swing aimed at Bruce's head, the kind that shatters skulls. Bruce ducks under it, doesn't retreat, moves forward into the attacker's space. His elbow rises, connects with the man's jaw. The crack echoes off brick walls. The bat clatters on wet concrete. The man follows it down. 5 seconds. The chain whistler from the left, heavy links cutting through rain. Fast, dangerous. Bruce's hand shoots out, catches the man's wrist mid-swing, redirects the momentum, uses the man's own force to spin him, sends him stumbling into 2 others coming from behind. They tangle, fall, sprawl on the ground. 8 seconds, 4 still standing. Plus the leader watching, calculating. They pull weapons, metal pipes, a tire iron, something that might be a knife. The sound of metal clearing pockets in jackets, rain hitting steel, creating percussion. They come together this time, learned from watching the others fall alone. Bruce doesn't wait, attacks into their formation, breaks the unity before they can use it. Front kick to the closest one's knee. Hyperextends with an audible pop. The man screams, drops his pipe, falls, spinning back fist to another's temple. The man's head snaps sideways. His body follows. Slides on wet pavement. The one with the tire iron swings wild. Bruce sways back. Minimal movement. Just enough. The iron passes. Bruce's hand follows it. Grabs the man's wrist. Twists. Applies pressure to the joint. The iron falls. Bruce's knee drives into the man's ribs. Once. Twice. The man crumples. 13 seconds. 2 left standing. Plus the leader. They're backing up now. Hands raised, not attacking. Defending. Trying to process how 10 became 3 in less time than it takes to breathe. The leader steps forward. Bigger than the others. Older. Scar tissue around his eyes? This isn't his first fight. He pulls a blade. 8-inch hunting knife. Not for show. For use. "You're dead," he says. Bruce's stance shifts. Lower. More mobile. Eyes locked on the blade. Reading the grip. The angle. The man's weight distribution. The leader lunges. Overhand stab. Committed. Full power. The kind of attack that ends people. Bruce's left hand intercepts the knife arm. Traps it. Controls it. His right hand rises. Palms strike to the leader's nose. The cartilage breaks. Blood immediate. Thick in the rain. The man's eyes water. Vision compromised. Bruce's foot sweeps the leader's supporting leg. The man falls backward. Hard. Skull bounces off concrete. The knife skitters away, spinning across wet pavement, reflecting neon red. 15 seconds. 10 men. Various weapons. One alley in San Francisco. Bruce Lee stands in the center, not breathing hard, not celebrating, just aware, scanning for more threats, finding none. Bruce doesn't smile, doesn't pose, doesn't feel victorious. He looks at the men scattered across the alley, groaning, bleeding, trying to remember what happened, trying to understand how it happened so fast. And he realizes something that will change his martial arts forever. Traditional styles wouldn't have survived this. The classical stances, the preset forms, the techniques drilled in safe dojos against compliant partners. None of that prepared anyone for chaos, for multiple attackers with weapons, and no honor. For violence that doesn't announce itself or follow patterns. Wing Chun gave him tools, structure, understanding of efficiency. But Wing Chun alone wouldn't have been enough. Not against 10. Not in an alley with rain and weapons and no room for error. He survived because he'd already started modifying, already started questioning, already started taking what worked from boxing, from fencing, from wrestling, from anything that proved itself under pressure. This alley confirmed what Hong Kong rooftops had taught him. Tradition is beautiful until it gets you killed. Forms are elegant until someone stabs you while you're executing the perfect kata. Real fighting is ugly, chaotic, adaptable. It's about what works in the moment, not what looks good in demonstration. Jeet Kune Do, the style with no style, was born in moments like this. 10 men, 1 martial artist, 15 seconds that proved everything and nothing. The question isn't whether Bruce Lee could fight 10 people. He did. The question is, was it technique or was it courage? Was it the years of training or the willingness to test that training in chaos? Most people train their entire lives never facing one real threat. Bruce faced 10 in an alley where hesitation meant death. What would you have done? Drop your answer below. Hit subscribe for more untold stories from the streets that shaped the legend.